Alright guys, in this video I'm going to be checking out a clip from the No Jumper podcast. He's got on this girl named Chinese Kitty who does like reality television and makes music and that kind of stuff. And she's actually really successful at it. I mean, she's got like 3.5 million Instagram followers. And she's also really successful at having a gigantic ass. And that's something I'm interested in hearing about. So let's not waste any time here and jump right into the video and see what she has to say about it.
And it was like, you had like a week where you just had like multiple videos of you just sort of like walking around. And we were just like, holy fuck, her ass looks crazy. How did it, like, I was just like, I don't know. I was just a little taken aback. Like, wow, she went hard.
What is he saying? He could have done such a better job with that question right there, or whatever he's trying to say. Like, he would have been better off just being straight up with her and been like, listen, what's the deal with the ass? Like, that thing's enormous. It's got to be fake, right?
Like, I don't know. I was just a little taken aback. Like, wow, she went hard.
What? Went hard on what?
However it got like that.
It's funny, when he first starts talking about her ass, she seems like completely fine with it. But then when she starts to realize that he thinks it's fake, then she could tell she's kind of getting pissed off about it.
Yo.
I felt like...
I knew you was going to say this. This
I'm
the
just
craziest
curious.
part.
What?
That's why I'm really just like...
What?
My ass is... How you know if it's not... I wasn't born this way?
I just don't think anyone's born that way.
How you don't know that though? Nobody knows that though.
Okay.
So obviously by that reaction, you know her butt's fake. I mean, just looking at her too, you can tell her butt's fake. It's not that hard to figure out. And I'm sure most of the stuff on her is fake. And I'm not trying to say that there's anything wrong with that. Like, it's not my kind of thing. I think she went a little overboard, but if that's what she wants to do, go ahead and do it. I'm sure there's a ton of guys out there that are really into her look. But also, if you had some work done, I feel like you shouldn't have a problem admitting that you had it done. Like, I actually have a little respect for Trisha Paytas because she doesn't really seem to have a problem talking about what's fake on her, and she even admits that she's trying to look fake. And I'd say it's pretty accurate for this girl too. Like, this is not what a normal person looks like. Like, she had this done so she could have her body features look like something a normal person would never actually have. And it makes sense because if you take a guy with like the best abs in the world and he's had nothing done to him, people are still gonna look at him and be like, yeah, that looks fake. Like, those look too good to be real. Like, that's the kind of thing that these girls are going for. And with their ass, it usually seems like they're just thinking the bigger the better. And in my opinion, it definitely gets to a point where it's a little too big, but that's just my opinion. Like, there are plenty of guys out there that are into this. Like, I'm sure there's a ton of guys that are like, I just want the biggest ass possible. And they're not going to care if it looks fake, as long as it looks fake in a good way, which, like, obviously this girl thinks her ass looks good and she wants her ass to look big. And I'm sure she went to a great plastic surgeon and had like really good work done. So I'm sure her ass looks good for like the size that it is. And if she's happy with it and she likes the way that it looks and everything, then what's the problem admitting that it's fake? And I know obviously on her part, it would sound better if it was real and she didn't have to admit that it's fake. But when someone sees her, like, no one's thinking that's real. Like, everyone who sees her is gonna be like, all right, that's gotta be fake. And it's just a lot better to admit right off the bat that it's fake instead of going on about like, how do you know if it's real or fake? You don't know what I'm up to. This could totally be real. Because the more you do that, the more it looks like you're not actually cool with what you had done. And I also do want to point out that I saw in the comments that Adam22 had some like hair transplant done and he's like really uncomfortable talking about that, and like he never would admit it up until recently. So I do want to say it's a little hypocritical for Adam to be calling out this girl's fake ass when if she called out his fake hair, I'm sure he would be uncomfortable with it and he'd probably think it's an inappropriate question to ask. And I'm sure he would have the same kind of reaction this girl does, or maybe even worse.
How you don't know that though? Nobody knows that though.
Okay. So you were born that way? Do you have baby pictures? I don't believe it.
Yo. No, I mean, listen.
I want to talk about the tune-ups.
I know you do.
Right. Is that weird? You don't like to talk about it?
It's whatever to me because people gonna see me every single day and just put that in their head already. So it's like,
I think it's probably already in their head.
Fuck.
Right.
Yeah.
I like how she's like, yeah, you know, it's whatever. People already look at my ass and they think that it's fake and I don't really give a fuck. But there's no way I'm actually gonna admit that it's fake. What are you, nuts?
I mean, okay, look, boom.
Boom. Okay, so boom.
So boom, I always had a body, and I don't give a fuck. Anybody that's watching this and knew me from when I was like 16, 17, they're gonna be like, she always had ass and this and the third. Boom.
Boom, she already had an ass, even though it wasn't good enough for her apparently, and she had to have some work done. Like, wouldn't she rather just have a nice real ass than like a massive, like oversized fake one?
Like this cute, natural butt, hips, this and the third, but I had fake boobs, right? This is when I was like, right before I got pregnant, I was like 19, 20. So I ended up having my son, right? And my body was jacked up. Like, and I think, honestly, I think if I took time, maybe like 6, 7 months, a year later, then I probably would have got some way back to.
So now she's trying to say that her body got all screwed up from a pregnancy, which is definitely true. Like, I can understand that. Like, once you have a kid, I'm sure that does a lot to your body, and you probably think it doesn't look as good as it did beforehand. But I don't think most people run out to get their ass done right after a pregnancy. Like, that doesn't seem like something that's like that big of a concern, because it would be a lot better to say like, no, it's completely real. Like, people would be more impressed. You'd be probably more proud of it, which I feel like is another problem that she has, because she thinks it looked really good before the pregnancy, but then she went and had something done to it so now it's like technically enhanced, or like it's not completely real. So she just hates to admit that because she felt like it was so good beforehand. So I feel like it is a possibility that she regrets doing it, which if she does, I feel like she should just admit it. It'd be a lot better for everyone, because people go around like thinking that having plastic surgery is so cool and like no one really has a problem with it. Like, I think if you do have a problem with it, then you should admit it. You should say like, yeah, I kind of regret doing this, and maybe some girls won't do it. And I also think it's interesting that she had no problem right there just admitting that she had a boob job, but like when someone asks about her ass, she goes on this giant tangent to try to avoid the question. So that's why I think she has more of a problem like with the fact that her ass is fake, because you'd think if you don't want to admit that your ass is fake, that you also wouldn't want to admit anything else is really fake.
You know, a year go by, 2 years go by, I'm getting thicker. You know what I'm saying? So now my ass is looking bigger than it did 2 years ago. And I think people really think I'm still doing something like to make my ass bigger. I'm not. I'm just getting thicker. But I mean, yeah, I had a BBL. What? Are you gonna fucking shoot me?
I mean,
Y'all want to shoot me? I don't
the
understand.
BBL.
And now she's acting like everyone's mad at her because she had it done. Like, she honestly just seems like she's mad at herself for having it done. He just asked a simple yes or no question, and she's the one who like tried to do whatever she can to dodge it, and then finally at the end she admits it, but like she's all reluctant and like angry about it.
It's just like it's like an obvious,
me.
interesting thing. Everybody wants to know about it. Everybody's kind of fascinated by it. It's clearly technology that's taken over the world. The BBL is the new iPhone.
What a statement that is. Getting a butt lift is the new iPhone. Is he being serious about that? Like, I know girls are getting it done more and more, but to compare it to buying an iPhone, that sounds fucking insane. I think this dude's just been in LA too long. Like, I feel like LA and Miami are the only two places where you could live and be like, yeah, that statement sounded accurate. Like, anywhere else you're gonna be like, what the fuck are you talking about? That sounds ridiculous. Alright, that's about it for this video. Make sure you let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this video or like what you think of the whole situation. Then hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't, and then I'll catch you at the next video.